Marvel's Shang-Chi is in theaters now, and if any of my subscribers are Marvel fans, I'm sure you've been waiting for me to do a breakdown of a fight from this film. I noticed something really innovative in the bus fight.
Sounds interesting.
These days, it's really common for parts of a fight scene to be sped up, and I'm not here to say that there are parts sped up in this fight and therefore it's terrible. I'm here to say that there is something they did during sped up footage to trick you into thinking it wasn't sped up.
Sounds interesting.
In case you haven't seen any behind the scenes footage, this bus fight was filmed with entirely blue screen outside of the bus. There's a real bus set that they're on, but there is nothing outside of it. It's like a bus in a giant blue screen room. So what this means is they filmed the entire fight scene and in post-production inserted the background of a street passing by with traffic and pedestrians and everything. When speeding up footage, your worst enemy is things like fabric and long hair. So it's a dead giveaway that some footage is sped up here if you watch the jacket on the main character. See how the fabric at the bottom back of the jacket flows much faster than it should? We're so used to watching fabrics and wearing jackets that we know that no jacket actually moves this quickly. But when it comes to this stuntman's hair, it's not too long, so it's a little difficult to notice, but it flips up and back down much faster than it should. Particularly on the way back down, we're so used to seeing gravity that something falling is a dead giveaway if it's sped up footage because we're used to intuitively knowing how fast something should fall, whether it's hair or fabric or a bad guy. Watch this stuntman hit the seat and fall to the ground. There's a moment there where it looks like he's falling way faster than he should. It's kind of jerky. That's because the footage is sped up. And that's okay. Again, I'm not here to say that that's bad. Here's a spot where the same guy is hit into a seat. I guess they just felt like he doesn't fall fast enough as a stuntman, so every time he falls, it seems to be sped up. But again, here you can see his hair is a bit too fast. When you speed up footage in a fight scene like this bus fight from Shang-Chi, you want to eliminate as many of those telltale signs as possible. One of the things that would be a dead giveaway is that if they're speeding up and slowing down the footage, the world outside of the bus, everything outside of the windows, that would speed up and slow down too. But because they blue screened the entire world outside of the bus, they can do anything they want speeding up and slowing down the actual martial arts moves. And then once they've made all those decisions, they can make sure that everything outside of the bus scrolls by at a normal pace. So some footage might speed up, but the outside world doesn't speed up. If they change the speed of the fight and don't want you to notice, they change the speed of the fight, but not the outside world. This also means that if they're doing a slow motion and they want you to realize that it's a slow motion, they need to match the world outside the bus slowing down as well. And sometimes this can lead to little mistakes, like when the guy tries to grasp at the necklace here. The outside world is actually completely paused. It doesn't just slow down, it doesn't move at all. This isn't Neo in the Matrix. This isn't supposed to be like an ultra slow motion. He's moving at some sort of super speed that no human can possibly move at. We see the bad guy's hand open and close and move through the air. This is a really cool thing that they're doing with the background, but it's kind of complicated, and the more complicated it is, the more likely you are to get a little mistake. But like I said, this doesn't ruin the fight, it's just a cool thing to notice. They also did the same thing when it comes to dropping frames. So a frame drop is when, instead of speeding the footage up, what you do is cut out a couple of frames. Usually this is done to make an impact look harder. So here he's kicking, and if you watch the guy on the left, you can see they cut out a couple of frames, his foot travels really far all of a sudden. Usually you can get away with it when it comes to the limb striking, but in this case the stuntman's head moving so fast, that's a bit jarring and might give away to the audience that they did some frame dropping here. But what's really cool about this technique with the outside world being a blue screen is usually what you would get. You would drop these frames and also see the traffic go by jumpy. So the foot would be jumpy, the stuntman's head would be jumpy, and also everything going by outside the window would jump. But since it's blue screen, what they were able to do was do frame dropping, and then in post-production, after they did the frame drop, they could have the background go by at a normal pace without any frame dropping. So it kind of tricks the audience into thinking that there isn't a frame drop and it really did happen that fast, because the background being smooth is a big factor in tricking us. This is just a cool innovation that I thought Shang-Chi took with this fight scene. I'm not saying it makes things better or worse. Sometimes it's nice to appreciate just a cool aspect of a fight. And if you're a Marvel fan, check out these breakdowns I did on fights from the Falcon and the Winter Soldier. I think the Barroom Brawl has a lot of cool lessons, and this short one here does this really weird thing where they just randomly flip the shot around. They cut it in half and flip it. Check it out, it's really weird.